I think it's absolutely mind-blowing and crazy that so many sales managers and sales representatives do not care about their clients nor their own operations. Now, the reason for why I think you should be focused on knowing and at least know your capabilities and how your operations work and the products that you're selling, right? The reason why is if you truly understand the problem that you're solving, then the solution would come quite easily upon that, right? So if you truly understand the clients and their needs and problems, then you know how to solve them, right? And that's basically all you should do. Try to puzzle together, like you have a problem, I have a solution, let's find common ground together, and then we have a synergy and you're buying our product, right? That's how it works. That's, in my opinion, sales. So you solve a real problem. But during a management meeting, we all managers were sitting together and going through basically the weekly calls that we've had and prospects. So I have actually brought in the manager from Dhaka, so head of operations. We're sitting together and taking like prospect calls, as in booked meetings, and just trying to understand their viewpoint, the client's viewpoint of or prospect, what problems they have and how we can solve them and what capabilities we have. So I brought him in as a pre-sales actually more. So he's acting, so what pre-sales does, they answer more specific type of questions regarding and related to the product in itself. What I do as a salesman in that perspective, as a business dev or salesman, what I do is I try to understand the perspective of the client and their problem in itself, and then how our solution would fit their problem and serve their purpose on their agenda, right? That's what I focus. So closely related, but he's got more technical knowledge over the company and the product itself, and I know more about sales and having a conversation. And I'm still learning, you know, I've been doing this for a month. Anyways, that's pre-sales and sales strategies. So we would take a calls together, and I asked him for feedback during the management meeting. And the head of Dhaka, he said that, well, what I think you do really well, Maxi, is that you actually try to understand our product, you really try to understand our capabilities, our operations, and also you really try to understand the client's perspective, and then trying to find synergies. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was like, yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it. And it's like, no, I really want to say that the reason for why I'm saying this is not only because you asked, but it's also because we haven't seen that many business developers, sales managers, sales representatives even take that perspective. They don't even try to understand our product nor the client. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, most of the people that we worked with before in different companies and what we've seen in different industries, and I can atone to this, I can actually say I've seen this myself. They don't actually care about trying to understand the client. They really don't. Like, are you sure about that? Yeah, that's true. And I reflected upon that, having that said. And when they said that, I was reflecting, like, damn, I do understand this. Because whilst working in other sales departments myself, not sales departments, in other companies doing sales, I recognized the same issue. The sales department wasn't in sync with the internal operations. They weren't in sync with operations. And the operations, they need to, provide the solution. If you don't have any sync with what you can solve, like those that are solving the actual issue, delivering the product, might be physical or digital or whatever service. Man, if you don't have understanding of your own capabilities, how in the whole world would you be able to sell? I'm sorry, but how does that work? And I thought about that since then, and I really want to share my reflections with you, that there's so many sales managers that I've met, talked to. There's so many sales representatives that literally know nothing about their own capabilities. And I'm just thinking, especially in the B2B sphere, right? And I worked a lot in the B2B sphere. And I've also done B2C, by the way, but it's a little bit different. How would you be able to sell if you don't actually try to understand your own clients? How will you be able to understand if you don't try to understand their problem? How would you be able to sell if you don't even know what you're selling and how much you can sell off? Because sometimes you can actually sell too much. You can overpromise things, which means you don't underdeliver, right? That's a huge problem. So you have to meet with expectations and truly sync expectations with the ones you're talking with, no matter what department they're in. So say for example, if I would be selling, right? I'll be selling and we wouldn't be able to expand or have the capabilities to serve those that I'm selling to. Man, what am I doing then? Why am I selling? We should be focusing on expanding the operations so we can serve more clients, right? But that's a huge problem. So this can happen to many companies, and we talked about this during this meeting, that's a huge problem with so many sales managers, sales representatives not taking this in account. They try to not understand their own operations, not having any contact, not trying to understand the how the product works. Now, so we do annotation, right? And I'm generally interested as a person. I try to understand everything. I try to understand the other person's view. I try to understand, especially people, right? But I'm also very interested in technology. I have got many hobbies, right? So I'm generally a curious person about literally everything. You can tell me something and I will be idle ear. I would like to hear what you have to say. This means also that there are people that don't do this. They aren't curious about their own product. They aren't curious about what they're actually doing. They're just trying to make bank. Nothing inherently wrong with just trying to make money. But if you're gonna work together with people you damn should make sure that you try to understand their perspective. And especially if you're in such an important, vital role as a sales representative, right? No matter where in the hierarchy you are, if you're in a managerial position or if you're just the lowest down in the hierarchy just doing sales calls, at least you should try to care about them that you're calling, right? Which means that you need to understand their problem in order to serve them right. If you truly care about them and the client, you do care about automatically their problems, which means that you also care about what the solution would be, because you're selling them the solution, right? You're trying to help them achieve something. That's why you exist in the first place as a sales representative person, whatever. Which includes that understanding the problem, the solution, means you need to have a fundamental understanding of what the solution is. Which means that you should understand the product. You should understand what you're selling, right? You can't, I have said in some videos before, and I stand by this, that you do not have to be a super expert within the industry nor the specific product in order to know the product by heart, every specific detail to sell it. That's not the point. What you need to understand is what capabilities and what it serves a purpose, what value it brings, right? And try to understand what value the customer have and do the connection there and make them do the connection. You just guide them. You're a guider. You're a guide when you're a seller, actually. You don't tell someone to buy something just because of hell of it. But the thing is that most people that I've met view sales in this way. Also a lot of salespeople. And it's extremely interesting, I think, to see that they actually can make money doing what they do in the way they do it, which means that they're not trying to understand the perspective of the customer. They just sell something. They have no idea what they're doing, why they're doing it, or why the purpose is. Now, this became a little bit, this is a video that's a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but basically the thing that I want to go through is not having operations, those that deliver the product, whatever you want to call it, we call it operations, and not collaborating with business development and those doing the sales. Oh man, you're doomed for failure, especially if you're in the B2B universe, whatever industry sphere. How does it work? That's my question. So having a tight communication to understand what your capabilities are. And this could also be, if you say, for example, if you have 100 people sitting at the sales department, right, and you have, I'd say 30 people making phone calls, cold calls, right, they don't need to truly understand 100% what's happening in the company. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the sales manager or the team leaders that have given them permission to sell, right, because you're giving permission to actually talk to clients, like you're giving the lists, should be able to know what their own capabilities are. The team leaders, or at least the sales manager that has been appointed, the chief revenue officer, whatever you want to call it, those people that are in charge should at least know what their capabilities of their own company are, so they don't overpromise. Because what has happened is, if you overpromise and underdeliver, the only thing that will happen is sour face, and you will never get a client again. That's the thing, you lose money in the process, and its cost of acquisition is higher than actually retaining people, and especially clients. But if you promise something and then you over deliver, that's good. Then you get a good review. Probably you will probably get a better relation with that person, or that client, or that business, whatever you want to call it. You need to sell what you're able to sell, and in order to do that, you need to have good guidelines. And especially if you're a sales manager, I'm talking to you guys. If you're a sales manager and you don't know your product, man, pick up a book and just ask your teams, like, can you tell me about how our product works? Ask yourself this question: do you actually know how this product works? Do you know what you're selling? Do you know how it works? Do you know what you're doing? If you don't, man, you gotta step up. You can't just sell just because of the hell of it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can, but you're doomed for failure, because there will be other companies that actually care, or have people that care about their clients, and also about their own company and the people within it, the different departments, that will probably take your market shares. Seriously, they'll probably kill you in the market, if you can say it that way. They will take over your business, because the ones that cares most about the clients and actually serves the best value, those are the ones going to take more market shares, because the cash follows the value. That's how it works. So have a tight connection, have a great communication within the company, especially between operations and at least those delivering, and then those doing the sales. And that's everything for today. So thank you for watching. Have a great productive day, week, minute, day, second, whatever. And like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.